One. Hello, and welcome to episode 52 of JDUB and Friends. My friend tonight is the one, the only Parochial Joe. How you doing tonight?
Hey, doing good.
We had a lot of fun. If you didn't see it on the live recording, had a lot of struggle busting on our podcast and getting everything situated. It didn't want to work no matter what I did. But we're actually talking about one of the games that's near and dear to our hearts. I have notes, so if you guys see me look at my phone, that's why. Because I am a
It's scripted.
yeah, I'm a professional streamer and a podcaster. I am not. Thank you though for believing that. Um, but other than that, what's been new with you?
Whole lot of work on my game,
Yeah.
Maledictor, July 14th.
Oh, you got a date now.
Yep, for early access, but still.
Yeah, July 14th. That'll be nice. And it'll be on Steam, right?
Yep, on
Cool.
Steam.
Bet you're excited to almost be done with that, huh?
Well, it's kind of just the start because I've got the first episode done and it's going to have 3 episodes planned. So
Yeah.
it's kind of the start. But now that it's actually able to be on Steam and will be playable and everything, as long as people don't hate it, then it should
Mhm.
be fortunately
Perfect.
not too bad.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Parochial Joe, I've been following. Obviously, you guys have seen my channel before, but I'm following you about, man, I don't even know how long. It's been about 10, 15 years now or something like that. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I was watching back in the day,
Hmm.
playing a lot of the FPSs that I was, stuck on. I was like, oh, look, somebody's playing them. But yeah, like I said, we're talking about Gears of War because for some odd reason I decided to do it. No, I'm kidding. It's the 20th anniversary of it this year. Actually November 7th, I believe. Yep, November 7th in the United States, November 17th in England, November 23rd in Australia. Um, which you'll think it's weird that there's not a Japan date, but that's because Gears of War is a Xbox exclusive. It actually came out on Xbox 360, which everybody knows that's a American console. So yay. Um, yeah, but when was the first time you actually got to play Gears of War?
I believe I played Gears of War 1 on release.
Yeah.
So it was a while back.
Now,
20 years apparently.
yeah, craziness, ain't it? Doesn't seem like that long. They just
Yeah.
remade it. It's now it's gonna be Gears of War. Oh crap, what's it called? Reloaded? Why am I thinking Reloaded? But that's not right because that's Conquer's Bad Fur Day. I know it just got remade. Why? Why can't I
They
think of what's
remade
called?
it again.
Yeah, it was Oh my goodness, it just got remade and now I can't. Oh, it was right. Reload. It was right. Cool. I thought so. Man, I feel smart sometimes. See if I don't doubt myself. But yeah, it actually has. Let's see, Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3. Um, has Judgment,
Judgment, yeah.
and then 4 and 5, I believe.
Hmm. And
And
then Tactics as well,
yeah,
technically.
and then the new one's coming out, which everybody. So it was announced for PS5, Xbox Series X, and then the last little Xbox announcement they made, which was during Summer Game Fest, they went, guess what? It's an Xbox exclusive again. So if you don't have an Xbox, or I'm guessing PC, it'll probably be in PC, um,
Probably.
then you won't be able to play it. So sorry. But yeah. Now, Gears of War is a or third person over the shoulder shooter. Basically, you're playing against or playing as Marcus Phoenix, or if you have a partner, they are playing as Oh my goodness, why can't I think of his name?
Dom.
Thank you, Dom. Yep, thank you. Ironically, do you know who voices Marcus Phoenix?
Yes. Same dude who did Jake, the dog,
Yep.
from Adventure Time.
Yeah, John DiMaggio, the guy does Bender and Jake and
Mm.
Waka and a few other guys. He does Marcus
I didn't know
Phoenix.
he was Waka.
Yeah.
That sounds perfect though. Now
Hmm.
that I think about it.
Yeah, he was Waka and Mari.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. So the more you know. Yeah, Dom Santiago was Carlos Ferro. You also run into other people in the game. I think everybody's favorite is Coltrane.
Oh, I
Coltrane is
guess.
so, cool, and you know, all you hear him. Well, some people don't like him because he talks too much, but
Uh,
I,
I I was a fan of the Carmines, but
oh
you
yeah,
know, it was so big payoff for number three at least. But that was an
yep,
unfortunate time to be a Carmine fan for one and two.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah. Anthony Carmine for everybody that doesn't know, but yeah. Then there was also Damon Baird.
Benjamin.
Yep.
No, I thought we were going through the Carmines. Yeah, Baird. Yeah,
Yeah.
aka the protagonist of Judgment, I believe,
Yep. One
which
of the
kind of threw people for a loop.
Yeah, which was different because I mean you ever got to play as them. It was kind of cool. I've been cool to play
Mhm.
Coltrane too, but I get it. Um, Now it was kind of about a E-Day, is what they called it, where immersion day, where you're fighting against these. Oh, I forget the
The Locust.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I was thinking Flood, and I was like, I know that's Halo. Why am I thinking Flood? And I was like, I know it's a bug, and I couldn't think. Yeah, it's been a minute since I played Gears of War 1. It's been a while.
Yep.
Gears of War 3, I played a lot of. Gears of War 2, I played a lot of. Judgment, I played a good amount of. 4 and 5, I
Yeah.
played, and not so much of. But
Yeah.
now, what did Gears of War like? What's it mean to you as a person? Like, is it one of those games that you look back fondly about, or you're like, it could have been better, or
So I always I think about Gears of War. Actually, I've been thinking about it fairly recently in terms of how that was one of those games that it kind of shows how we've, I guess, regressed a little bit for video games,
Mhm.
where before it was a lot less about mass appeal to like everybody.
Mhm.
So Gears of War, the big draw to it was all like the executions and stuff, like the chainsaw,
Yeah,
bayonet, and the curb stomps, and how every game they had to up it a little bit more every time.
yeah,
And now the gaming landscape is trying to like get away from that sort of thing to make it as widely marketable as possible.
yeah,
And it just kind of struck me as being really like how much we've changed for the game industry, where it was just all about more gore, more violence, as
yeah.
much as possible, and then it's just gone down from there. But I really liked it, especially in terms of like the before everybody found the metas for multiplayer.
Mhm.
I remember I really liked the multiplayer for two. One
Yeah.
had the really bad host advantage issue, and then three I enjoyed, but three was kind of around the time when everybody got to where they started getting to where they would just do like the cover bouncing. So
Yep.
they would just bounce around all over the place and it was impossible to hit anybody. That was
Yep.
no fun.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, like when this came out, everybody was like, "Oh, we'll see." I mean, it's, Halo's console. This is the 360, this is all, you know, it should be shouldn't be that good, it's but it was like way different from Halo in my opinion. Like
Mm-hmm.
the guns were cool. Like he said, you literally have a chainsaw gun. And
Yeah.
you literally could go up and, saw somebody in half, or,
Mm-hmm.
you got sniper rifles. I mean, you got the usual guns, but then you also have one of the baddest weapons in the game. Besides the, chainsaw weapon, you get to use the Hammer of Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, if you've ever wanted, have you ever watched, any like the star or sci-fi movies back in the day, and they always talk about, oh, we have a killer, gun that we can use and stuff like that from outer space, like a Death Star. beam. Basically, imagine you have the Death Star in your hand. You just point it
Hmm.
wherever you want to use it, and it basically shoots a big old beam down from the sky and kills everything, and basically fills the hole up that you were shooting people out of.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was insane.
I always liked how, because I was also a Command and Conquer fan, so
Oh
that
yeah,
was like seeing an ion cannon from the ground, which I thought was pretty
yep, yeah. That's the only spot that hasn't been um, taken over is space.
cool.
Command
Hmm.
and Conquer reference for everybody that hasn't played Command and Conquer. Tim Curry, one of the great
Been
actors.
corrupted by capitalism.
Yep,
Yeah.
one of the great actors of our time. Had a massive stroke, but before that, he was doing Red. He did Command and Conquer, Red Alert 3, I think it was.
Hmm.
And then he also did the Muppet movie, which Muppet Treasure Island, best Muppet movie of all time. Don't at
Pretty
me.
good.
It's incredible. I think he was like the best Muppet guy that ever Muppet. Um,
Mm.
but when you first saw Gears of War, were you thinking Halo Killer, or were you like, oh, this could work together with Halo to sell more, for the system?
Honestly, when it came out, I would have been early teens, I think,
Yeah.
and so that was just that was also that era where like new amazing games were coming out just all the time. So
Hmm.
I saw that, and that was normally not exactly the type of game that I would typically play because I was probably a lot really into like Counter Strike at the time,
Yeah.
and so like third person cover based shooter,
Hmm.
not exactly what I was normally into, but yeah, again, just you've got a pretty good shooter, and
Hmm.
then that you see the chainsaw bayonet, and what teenage boy would not see that and go, "No, I'll pass."
Right. Yep. I think a lot of
So,
people died just trying to get to the chainsaw kills because everybody's like, I
hmm
just want to kill somebody, and run up there and they
yeah,
get shot
if
at.
you get shot, then it unrevs the chainsaw, and you have to like
Yeah.
unjam it. That was so infuriating.
Yep. The cool thing about Gears of War that they did that eventually, or there was other games that did after the fact, but if you timed your reloads on the game, you could actually get more powerful or weapon shots at that point, or make your reload a little bit faster, which was kind of cool. It was unique,
Hmm.
and there was
Yeah,
actually
the active reload was pretty cool.
yeah, there's actually achievements for it to face, do it so many times. If you're achievement hunter at that point, I mean that was one of the things you were going after. But um, now what what was the story like when you first played it? What was your opinion on the story? Like, were you like, oh, this is cool, or were you like, just fighting guys and see what happens?
I guess overall, like series wise, or just for the first game?
Just for the first game.
Okay, first game, I probably didn't pay too much attention to it,
Hmm.
mostly because it was the first one, so there wasn't a huge amount of lore established, and
Right.
you also don't really, you might not be, you're not playing that game for the lore either. But
Yeah.
um, I remember the set pieces were pretty cool. Like there was that one level where you had to stay in the light, otherwise all the
Hmm.
birds would come down. That
Yep.
was that was pretty interesting. So they, at least if they didn't have, or at least if we didn't know all the story for it,
Hmm.
they at least managed to come up with some really cool set pieces for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was a lot of cool ideas that they threw, and there was a lot of creepy villains
Yeah,
that you
it,
fought against too.
it was a lot. It was actually like pretty horror adjacent too, which was
Yeah.
strange thinking about that, but it really was kind of a different game from where the series went.
Yep. And then Gears of War you could actually play with a friend, like I said
Mm-hmm.
earlier, and but it was kind of cool. It's the planet you're on is Sarah, which it's not Earth, it's Sarah, but it's kind of like basically imagine Earth. Um, Now, like when you play, did you always play by yourself, or did you have friends that came over and you guys played together on like the story or?
That game. I might have almost exclusively played it in co-op.
Hmm.
It was just such a perfect co-op game. So
Hmm.
anytime my my friend would sleep over and we would pretty much go through Gears of War, whichever one was out most recently, even if we had gone through it before, just because it was such a good co-op game.
Yeah.
And it was actually really hard on single player too.
It was, yeah. Yeah, because like everybody's, getting shot and all that stuff. You're like, why are you running that way when there's a guy right there?
Yeah.
I don't know how many times. I don't know if this happened to you as a kid, but I was, let's see, 16 when this game came out, almost 17. And I remember I used to jump over the barricade all the time. I'd be in cover. I jump over the barricade. I'm like, oh crap, I'm getting shot at. So I try to jump back over the barricade just to end up in face to face with another guy because I jumped over the wrong barricade. And I just get shot up and die. But
Yep.
now Gears of War, like I said, was a 360 game with Halo. Came around around the same time as I think Halo 3 was coming out around that time too. Let's see. Tell you right now, actually. Look at that on the fly running. Let's see, Halo 3, which it came out actually. Halo 3 came out in 2007, so a year later. So it was still, Halo 2 had still been playing, but yeah, it was basically the first real big game for the 360 at that point then. And yeah, I was just blown away because it was like the first game that I bought for my 360 besides, I think it was that and then Project Gotham Racing I was playing a lot of as a kid, and the Xbox 360 was a cool console. The PS3, I mean, I was playing at the same time, but there's a lot of great games on the PS or the 360 that were on the PS3. A lot of games like Gears. Now, with Gears of War, did you feel like after you played? Because I mean, obviously, there's 5 games, 6 games now. When 7 games coming out here in the next couple weeks. When you actually like played through the whole series, as a whole, did you feel like the story actually like completed? I know like 3 has that one moment where everybody that played 1 and 2 was like, you know, hurting for certain. But
Yeah, trying to get some closure on the story a bit.
hmm
I thought that 3 wrapped it up pretty nicely, which is kind of why when 4 came out and it took place
hmm
after all of it, I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
I'll see, but I don't really know about that. And 4 was, I think, in terms of starting it back up,
hmm
didn't do badly. Like I actually
no,
enjoyed 4, and I played that. I think maybe just like 2 years ago.
hmm
I did not play 5 because 5 looked terrible, but uh, yeah. So I think that they did pretty well with 1 through 3.
hmm
4 was decent. Can't speak on 5, but I think that they're probably doing the right thing with E-Day and
hmm
going back to the first setting
yep,
because it's hard for me to imagine Gears of War outside of the
yeah,
original 3 games.
yeah. Because I mean, at that point, the end of 3, you're basically finishing up the fight. No pun
Mm.
intended. Halo 3, but
Yeah.
basically the same thing. But,
Mm.
3, I mean, you completed it. Lost some people along the way. I won't spoil it, even though the game's been out for, let's see, probably 10, 15 years now. Third one anyway. Um,
Hmm.
Now, I'm gonna ask you a question because I know you probably played all 3 Halo games too.
Hmm.
But which one was a better trilogy in your opinion?
Oh, geez. Are we talking overall gameplay story?
I'll do overall.
Oh man.
Story I feel like was better in Gears than was Halo, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Gosh,
Yeah.
that is tough overall. I would say. I mean, I play the original Halo 1 and 2, and I haven't really played 3 too
hmm
recently, but I play Halo 1 and 2
hmm
fairly often, but I don't know if that's just because the Master Chief Collection on PC made it way more accessible.
Yeah.
Whereas if you tried to play Gears before, I don't know how it is now. You had to mess around with Games for Windows Live, and then when Games for Windows Live got deprecated, then it was like you almost had to LAN it.
Yeah.
So um, I think
Mhm.
maybe Halo offered a slightly more. It was easier to play through
Mhm.
over again, just because it was a little faster paced. Whereas
Right.
Gears, I always felt was more cinematic.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
either way, probably I think Gears has probably aged a lot better than the Halo franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. The first two Halo were on original Xbox, so that's how old
Mm,
those games are. Halo 2, which was a great game too, but Halo, what if you were in a firefight and you have an
hmm
option, would you choose the pistol from Halo or the chainsaw gun from Gears?
I mean, the pistol from Halo 1 could just drop just about anything. So
Right?
the Magnum for Halo 1 just about
The
beats everything else.
It's insane how powerful that gun was. It didn't make any
Hmm
sense.
Yeah. 'Cause I think it was a 10 millimeter too. So
Yeah.
you compare the Magnum from Halo 1 next to the 10 millimeter pistol from Fallout 4.
Hmm. Yep. Now, playing Gears for all these years now, 20 years, would there be anything that you would have changed now that, like, let's say you go back and change something in the Gears series, is there anything you would change?
The entire series. Oh, I would probably skip out on 4 and 5 and do what they're doing now with E-Day with going back,
Hmm.
because or even you don't even necessarily need to go back or forward. You could just go sideways to other
Hmm.
areas because it's an entire planet and there's plenty of cogs out there. So
Yeah.
really, I would probably have just not done 4 and 5 and
Hmm.
either done what E Day's doing now and going back to the original fight,
Hmm.
or you can just add in a new squad, or potentially, you could always do the RPG route and have you make your own cog.
Yeah. I mean, they could always have done like what Halo 3 did with the ODST team,
Yeah.
where they just kind of, that was a whole new team, and you weren't Master
Mhm.
Chief, but you were kind of, the side characters, the
Yeah.
Marines. Or you could do what
Yeah.
they did with Reach, which Reach was a great game, and kind of
It was.
explain. I mean, like you're saying with the prequel now, which I'm kind
Yeah.
of curious, depending on how well this E-Day does, if they're gonna try and make a prequel or a prequel trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be interesting. It's my. I'm hoping they don't wind up going the way of Halo, where they have their restart game
Hmm.
because they have the movie coming in that's kind of tying into that, I guess.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't wind up like Halo Infinite and the Halo TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched the TV show. Halo Infinite wasn't too bad. I mean, I'd rather play than Guardians or 4, but
Yeah.
I mean they weren't too bad, but um now like we both talked about a lot of third person shooters, first person shooters, Halo, or Halo's a first person, Gears was third person, Uncharted was
Mm,
big on PS3, PS4 at the same time.
yep.
And that had a great, I would consider that more Gears than Uncharted or than Halo, just
Yeah.
because of the way it is. And then, Killzone was still
Oh.
doing a little bit, but not much. In
Mm,
which it was supposed to be the Halo killer, and it didn't even end up being the Gears killer. So, um,
yeah. It was good though.
yeah, it was really good. There were so many good games. Resistance, if anybody ever played Resistance on the PS3, was really good. Whole trilogy of that. It doesn't get the love it deserves.
Mm.
Um, but now with Gears being 20 years old, what do you think it did for gaming as a whole?
Oh, man, it's kind of it's kind of interesting because I wouldn't say that I really am aware of any Gears of War knockoffs.
Hmm.
So you could say like, oh well, how many Halo-esque games out there are there out there? And
Right.
Halo's, I guess, just a fairly typical first person shooter, but I still think that Gears of War really did. I think it influenced a lot, not necessarily in terms of like spawning a bunch of clones of itself, but
Hmm.
it was one of those games that I think was a pretty massive step up in terms of the locations, like the scale of everything went
Hmm.
up. It started implementing some gameplay mechanic changes, like with the active reloads,
Yep.
so that it took a boring concept like reloading and made a little mini game out of it.
Yep.
And I actually remember I believe seeing active reloads being a thing in some other games
Hmm.
after Gears of War as well. So I
Yeah.
think it was a lot. A lot of what Gears of War did was mostly upping the quality or setting a higher standard.
Hmm.
And I remember it was also really big for multiplayer too. Like
Yep.
that was around the time when games started making this huge shift
Hmm.
away from single player games and towards multiplayer
Yep.
because games like Gears just had such good multiplayer.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you had let's see, Halo was big online. For anybody that played PS3 or Xbox 360, also had a little game called BioShock 2, which the story wasn't as good as the first one. This first game was great, perfection. But second game had online multiplayer, which still is active to this day. Not as many,
Really?
yeah, not as many characters or not many as many people playing online anymore, but still, active. Um, but yeah, Gears, man, it's just so much fun playing online against people, and you get to, different types of game. You could be, the villains against, the Gears or King of the Hill type stuff, and there's a lot of different game types they had. Let's see if I can find some of them here. I had, no, let's see, the first Gears of War. Um, let's see, I'll look on my notes here. Um, Yeah, multiplayer had 4-on-4 competitive gameplay with teams representing the gears or locust. Players execute, yeah, had to execute down foes or they would revive after time, a
Mm-hmm.
la, Fortnite or, Call of Duty, stuff like that, where if they get up there, fine. Assassination matches, which the one was the leader that they only can track the other leaders and pick up new weapons after teammates can pick them up after the leader picks them up, which is kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of kill the other team's leader. And X mode, which is King of the Hill, shifting point, control point. Uh, yeah, PC version actually had King of the Hill, which was not in the 360 version for some odd reason. I guess because it's probably easier to that's been done with Team Fortress and stuff like that was
Mm-hmm.
big at that point. So I'm guessing that's probably why they did it. Let's see what else did they. I mean, that was basically besides the story mode. Um, yeah, the Locust Queen was a villain of basically the series,
Mm-hmm.
and she was big and scary.
Yeah, you would. I like that you would hear her way
Hmm.
more than you would actually see her.
Yep.
So you built up a lot to her just with the voice alone.
Yeah. Yep. And she used to, be like, I'm gonna they're gonna continue fighting and everything like that, we'll continue the
Mm-hmm.
fight. So that's kind of what you're doing too. And obviously three, you're basically ending the fight against her. Um, yeah, actually the game, which was funny, was basically it's supposed to be the next Unreal game. It's supposed to
Hmm.
be Unreal Unreal Warfare. So it's kind of going to be more like the multiplayer driven Unreal series, and it would have classes and mechs instead of what you got. You play in a closed area arena against other players and bots. Um, so it was kind of like a test, at that for. But then they were like, let's try maybe we got something more on this. So I were like, well, let's see if we could try to do a full horror game, kind of like Band of Brothers or Resident Evil 4, Kill Switch, kind of like that little
Mhm.
weapon. Um, they had romance subplots. They were kind of just throwing everything at the wall, trying to test this and see what happened. I mean, I guess I understand that. It's probably kind of what the whole um spiel was with his buddy. Um,
And I can
yeah,
never remember his wife's name. I just
yep,
remember the Gears of
dumb.
Awesome animation, how they turned the "Where's my wife" into a
Yep,
sing along.
yep, yep. Yeah, Rom was a big villain, one of the bigger villains in
Mhm.
Gears 1 that you're kind of fighting more of. Let's see, what else notes I have, sorry. Um, yeah, there was three games that were basically the primary influences, which you could see it. I mean, obviously Resident Evil 4 with the third person shoot,
Mhm.
way it was. I mean, third Resident for everybody that has not played Resident Evil 4, there's a remake out, PS4, PS5. But man, when that first came out for the first time,
Mhm.
blew it was insane. It was blew me away, and it was incredible. It was my first Resident Evil game, so I was kind of surprised, thrown off. But then it was also, um it was Kill Switch, which was another for shooter, is actually where they got most of the tactical cover system, which hiding behind and moving
Mhm.
around, jumping around. And then Bionic Commando was also involved with the cover system, like moving from cover to cover. So it was a lot of different things. It was kind of like big. Also, they said, as I was looking up notes, that do you know what game they said that the story was influenced by?
The story.
Yes, he was
Can't wait
influenced.
to hear this one.
So, when he was making the game, he was also playing a little game called Legend of Zelda. And he was so impressed with like the world building, the acquiring
Okay.
acquiring and mastering of tools, the underground environments that were in it, storytelling, everything like that. But he always had said that the game was an early homage to one of his favorite games when he was growing up, which is Metal Gear, which
That
Hideo
that would make
Kojima.
sense.
Hideo
Hmm.
Kojima was a big, influence for a lot of people I've heard over the years, for either A, Metal Gear Solid, or B, Death Stranding that's out now.
Yeah.
Which not a bad game.
Yeah.
But the game actually only, well, I say only, cost about $10 million to make, which I
Is
mean,
that all?
that's it. Which wasn't too, I guess, expensive for some games at that point. I mean, you had, your other ones that are really expensive. But in the long run, I believe, let's see, I have I think it made a good amount of money. It had an Xbox, which was really cool. It had 360 back in the day for anybody that doesn't have, that sees all the new, the PS5 all the PS5s look the same. All the Xbox Series X looks the same, except for the new one. That actually looks cool, where it's going to be like the old school, Xbox,
Yeah.
the original one.
Nice.
Um, but the every big game for the Xbox 360 seemed like it was getting its own console. The Halo 3 console
Yes.
came out. Gears of War console. Call of Duty had one. It was like everything and anything that was big was getting one.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I'm trying to see. There is a film, supposedly film reaction or film coming out in 20. Well, they announced they have a director, they have a writer. It's 2025 announced. Um, but it always got great reviews from direct everybody. Xbox Magazine, which yes, there were things called magazines in the 2000s. Everything wasn't online. We could actually get something physical and read through it. Xbox gave them a 10 out of 10. GameSpot and 9.6. Game Pro, which is another one that I believe both of us grew up with. Game of 4.75. Game Informer, which is GameStop's magazine, game of 9.5. 1up.com, which was another, that was one of the first, machinima type places that did games. They gave him A plus for the 360, B minus for PC. But I mean, it was incredible what they did with that game compared to like what when Halo 3 came out and everything like that. It was like, what the? It was actually the first game was the most popular game on Halo or on Xbox Live until Halo 3 came out. So
Okay.
that was, yeah, it was actually overtake Halo 2 because that was still the large, that
Yeah,
was
I was
at that
big
point.
right up until Halo 3 came out.
Yep.
And I think it was probably still big even after Halo 3 came out.
Yeah. Um, that's what I was thinking. For I know, I was like, oh, I know, I wrote the notes or the money. It was the fastest selling 360 game. Within the first 2 weeks, it sold 1 million copies in its first two
I
weeks.
believe it.
Which is impressive. Just by January 19th, which was just 10 weeks after the debut, it had sold over 3 million units. Um, let's see, as of let's see, November 2008, it was up to 5.88 million copies worldwide. And it was also the first Xbox or Xbox 360 game to sell out and reach the top 10 charts in Japan, which at that point was a big deal because, like, for
Hmm.
Xbox, it wasn't Sony or Nintendo.
Yeah.
If it wasn't those two, it wasn't making the list. So at that point, it was massive to do that. Let's see, one several awards at E3, which was a game show or game show that I'm surprised still isn't around. But I guess at that started going downhill in the last few years.
Hmm.
They won best console game, best action game, best 360 action game, best 360 multiplayer game, best overall multiplayer experience. Just at E3 alone. Um, it was just insane. IGN named him Game of the Year for 360. GameSpot Game of the Year, Best 360 Game. Xbox Magazine, Xbox 360 Game of the Year. I mean, it was insane what they could do with the 360. And it wasn't even that, like 360 was that old at that point too. I mean, 360 was, I think, one or it was either just came out at that point or was like barely a year old. Yeah, it was barely a year old. Of Xbox came out November 22nd, 2005. But Xbox 360 had its problems too at that point.
The Red
Ah,
Ring.
yep, Red Ring of Death. So even if you got to
Oh.
play Gears of War, you might be playing for about an hour and then now you have to go to a new
Hmm.
Xbox because it doesn't work anymore.
Yep.
Um, but when you think of the Gears of War, like as your childhood, as now, what will always stick out to you as for Gears compared to like Halo or anything else?
I think Gears. This was kind of before Cliff Bleszinski kind of went the whole. What was the battle royale game that he tried making?
Oh yeah.
That he made it like his own studio and just everything crashed. But at
Hmm.
the time, Cliff Bleszinski, he was basically. I hate to use the term icon or celebrity or whatever, but people knew who he was. Which,
Right.
other than like John Romero,
Hmm.
nobody knows the head of a studio for video games.
Hmm.
And Cliff Bleszinski was very well known because he was he was a gamer.
Yep.
He was one of us,
One
and
of us.
that was so. Like Gears of War for me, at least the originals, especially the first one,
Yeah.
that always stands out to me as that was still that time when you had studios making games that
Hmm.
they wanted to play, not because it was, the last one sold this many millions of copies or,
Hmm.
this game. made this much money, so we have to completely copy it and
Yep.
just try to get ours while that before that genre dies,
Hmm.
or also before the time of the 10-year game, the Destinies
Right.
that everyone tries to keep going forever. That
Hmm.
was just a time when extraordinarily good games were made by people who just wanted to make really
Yep.
good games.
Hmm.
So, like, anytime I think about that time, I always think about the smaller studio. Like, I guess maybe Westwood wasn't a smaller studio, but for the time,
Yeah.
um,
Your Naughty Dogs,
compared to
Insomniacs.
now, yeah, like you had just studios that started off as people just wanting to make games because they liked games and
Hmm.
they thought they had a cool idea for one,
Yep.
and we got a ton of really good stuff, a lot of innovation from games
Hmm.
around that time too.
Yep.
And it was people tended to care a lot about their sequels
Hmm.
because they had worked hard to make the first one what it was.
Yep.
And so they had a reason to care about the further games.
Yep.
Whereas now it's, you get with Halo, I think, is that we've been drawing those comparisons. They
Hmm.
gave the Halo IP to a studio that explicitly said they did not like Halo and they
Hmm.
wanted to hire people who didn't like Halo so they
Yep.
could make Halo for people who don't like Halo.
Yep.
And we kind of see where that's gone.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, you could see like Bungie was, once they made Reach and then ODST and they were done. They're like, yep, that's all we
Mm.
can do. Because I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's asking. There was two things everybody was asking for when it came to Halo was we want to play it. We want to try it as Marines. We want to be, and then we don't want to be Master Chief.
Hmm.
We want to see what happened before Master Chief. So they gave us Reach, and Reach was incredible. But
Yes.
yeah, like he was saying, I mean, at that point, hypothetic, not like that date, month, whatever, but around that
Mm.
time frame, there was Last of Us was coming out, which Last of Us flew people's brains, it was incredible. No pun intended, because it was a zombie game, and shooting zombies in the head
Yeah.
opener that they die. I mean, you had that was coming out. You had Uncharted, which was big at that point. I mean, they were, a little Naughty Dog, Insomniac, little companies, and you had Gears of War's company that came through. I mean, I know it was backed by Xbox and Microsoft, which is a big company. I get it,
Mm.
but it felt like Gears of War kind of felt like what Kojima was doing with Metal Gear Solid. Like that was his baby. Wasn't gonna be Halo. It was just gonna have its own niche, and it was gonna go right down that street. You know,
Hmm.
but it was so much fun to play, and it didn't matter if you were younger, older, it was just kind of one of those games you can get into and just enjoy it. But
Yeah.
like you said, there's not many games anymore that you kind of hop in and just enjoy and not have to
Hmm.
buy, DLC or something like
Yeah.
that, or gotchas, or just was like everything was there. I mean, there was still DLC, but I mean, the DLC actually added to it. They didn't
Hmm.
actually, like, hey, you want this DLC for a character, or you want this DLC for clothing, or you want just a regular, extra character surprise. Like I
Although
would
we still
compare,
had horse armor DLCs.
yeah, I would compare like their DLC to like what Spider-Man was doing, like the original Spider-Man, um, that Marvel made, where they had their main story, it was all complete, but then you
Mm.
could do like the side stories of City That Never Sleeps or stuff like that. You also had like the
Mm.
Shadow of Rom, and there's a few other DLC games that you could actually like do more of the story if you wanted to, and
Yeah.
get you an idea of all the side stuff. But it was just incredible play. It was so much fun. The console was great for it. I mean, if you didn't have the Red
Hmm.
Ring of Death, obviously, but
Yeah.
uh, the controller was perfect for it. I mean,
Hmm.
you couldn't. I don't see a PS3 a controller at that time doing, being as comfortable for that game as it was, for the Xbox.
Hmm.
See, I am a fanboy for PlayStation, so I love my PS3. I won't
Mm.
lie, but certain games on the 360 were just incredible. So But
Yeah.
now, do you want to see a Gears of War movie, or would you rather see a TV show?
Neither. I guess if they had, honestly, if I had to choose, I would pick a movie
Hmm.
just because it's like the TV show curse where if it they come out, they try to make it what they can, and
Hmm.
if it's bad, you don't even get the story finished, and
Yep.
it's terrible. If it's good, they will keep it going until it is completely run into the ground.
Yep. Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. After 6 and 7. Yep.
Yeah,
But
they have the Game of Thrones issue where they outpace the story
yep.
that's it's supposed to be going alongside.
I mean, they would have had. I mean, at that point, let's just say hypothetically speaking. I mean, when Halo 1 came out, that was, big, and then they had so many wrestlers that could have been. I mean, Dom could have been Batista, which Dave Batista's been doing a lot of stuff, but Dave Batista's not as, big as he used to be. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you have your Coltrane. I mean, you have to figure out who all these actors be, but they got. I mean, I guess now, they have the suit and stuff like that, but I still feel like, they're going to be a little bit, buff
All
and
right, all
stuff.
right. The dudes in Gears of War were jacked, like their
Yeah,
biceps were bigger than their heads.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, we could see and see what happens, but I mean, they definitely. I'm excited for E-Day. I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully it'd be great to have not just a good game to play again, but also a game like Gears. We don't
mhm.
get shooters anymore. It feels like.
Yeah, if we do, it's either a Fortnite, you know, body double, or something
Or an
along those lines.
extraction shooter, like a
Yeah,
Tarkov clone.
yep. I mean, the last thing I knew that everybody was talking about was the Helldivers games that came out, and
Yeah,
that was about last thing that's been big. But I don't know, just don't make it like they used to.
yeah,
It's just not the
yeah.
same.
Yeah, they always try to. That's the trend now is to make one game that you can just keep running for as long as possible, no
Yep,
matter what.
yep. You'll keep
Oh,
paying for it. We'll keep making it,
yep.
and that's
And
kind
we
of
really
what's
don't want to make another one.
kind of like Dead by Daylight. It's like, all right, you can buy this new character.
Gosh, I'm amazed that game is still going. They've
Yeah,
got some cool characters in it. Like I thought it was awesome when they got Michael Myers put into it.
yeah,
But now I'm like, man, you guys ever gonna make a second one?
right. Dead by Nighttime. No, yeah, they got. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I'd love to see. Gears obviously will be so cool. I mean, Reloaded, I didn't get to play it yet because I mean, I was like, well, I have it for the 360 already.
Mhm.
We'll see. But I don't know. It just feels like that. It might be my childhood talking, which I said childhood. I was like 16, but still,
Yeah,
like looking back on, remember where I was when I first played it. Remembering running like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Roadie running everywhere.
Yep.
That
Yep.
would be the most painful run
Hmm.
ever. Running in a deep squat
Yeah, and it never
with
made sense.
armor.
Yep, they were so big and they were just run like a squat run.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, in the Marines, they have you duck walk a lot, and
Hmm.
oh, duck walking is torture.
Yep.
Imagine being in a full on sprint wearing armor that weighs like 100 pounds on it
Yep.
too.
Speaking of things that annoyed me, you know what I hated in Gears of War, but I understood why they did it.
Hmm.
Whereas when you had to do the split ups.
Oh gosh, those sections.
Hmm.
Hated them. This is
Yep.
always they always gave one person a really hard section. If
Hmm.
they die, back to
Yep.
back to the start. Have
Back to
fun.
the square one. Yep. And it was
Mm,
always, if you play by yourself, the other team would be all set at comms, be like, oh, I'm going, we're done. And then you'd be sitting there
mm-hmm.
fighting, Tim, Dick, and Harry over here on the other side, and be like, oh, surprise! Here's another line. It's like
Mm-hmm.
For anybody who hasn't seen Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, basically imagine that scene where The Rock has, the like 10, 15 guys to fight through, and Hobbs just has the one, or well, it's the other way around. Rock has one guy, and Shaw has all 15 guys to fight through, and he has to figure out which one opens the door. Basically, what it
Mm-hmm.
felt like. But it was
Yeah.
that was the only thing that was like, I don't want to do this again. No, don't, no, stop.
Yeah, if you were playing co-op, you always had one person feeling guilty
Yeah,
when everyone had to go back to start.
yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault. Or the other,
Yeah.
the other, like if you're still fighting for your life and the other guy's already done, he's just watching. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yep, we had a split screen back then, which was fun because you had the screen split here, either first, second,
Couldn't
or
see anything.
yep, or back.
Down the
Oh
middle
yeah,
vertically was so bad.
yep, yeah, because then the screen would be like that big,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, hold on, and they always had the screen watchers and like Golden
Mm.
Eye and Perfect Dark and all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, what are you playing right now?
Oh, it's kind of funny because you would think I'd be playing a lot of games since I'm making my own, but no. The only thing I've really been playing has been like Brotato with
Oh
my
yeah.
friend because there's co-op for that.
Hmm.
So I pretty much only play co-op games now. There haven't really been any single player games that have like new ones that have really interested me.
Right.
I keep thinking I need to go through Wasteland 2 again
Hmm.
because love that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's just going back and playing emulator games. Nothing really new.
Now, are you watching any new shows or anything? That along those lines?
New, no, but I did actually just restart watching a show called Canada's Worst Drivers
Oh, nice.
last night. Oh, that show is something. There's Canada's Worst Drivers, and then it's got another show, Canada's Worst Handymen. It's hosted and written by the same guy, where
Mhm.
they just find these people who are horrible at driving,
Right.
and then they try to teach them how to drive. And each episode, the best or the most improved driver, they send home. And then by the end of the episode, they have someone who's not just a horrible driver, but is basically unteachable. and
Somehow you're terrible at this.
yeah, and it's kind of funny because obviously they show it to where you get to laugh at the crazy ridiculous stuff they do. Like, if most normal people, you realize you hit something with your car, you stop and you're just like, oh gosh, oh no. Like, okay, make sure this never happens again. Please let there be no damage. These people will hit something and they just keep going. They hear like dragging and pulling the paneling off their car, and they just keep going. And so there's that aspect that you laugh at, and you're just like, oh my gosh, how?
Right.
But they don't focus too much on like trying to make fun of them and like shame them or anything. They actually try to teach them how to be better. So yeah, that's a wild tangent, but anyway, that's what I've been watching.
Now we were talking about Gears and what kind of games that they were impressed by. Metal Gear for one. Now you're making your own game now,
Mm-hmm.
on Steam. Now, what were some of the games that you looked to when you were making your own game? Like what?
Yeah, so my game Maledictor is it's a boomer shooter. So it's in the same vein as like the classic retro FPSs, I guess is what some people try to call them now, other than boomer shooter. But
Mhm.
it's like Doom, Duke Nukem, Blood. The big one, because I used to speedrun Blood. I think you had me on for an episode and talked about that
Yeah.
briefly. So yeah, Blood was the big one I looked at because I think that's the best one out of all of those ones. but
Mhm.
still played a lot of Doom, a lot of Doom mods,
Mhm.
because Doom mods are wild with how much they changed the game,
Yeah.
and then played a little bit of Duke Nukem,
Mhm.
and even kind of went to some modern takes on those as well, like Crot and
Oh, yeah.
Dusk, and there's also Coltic that I played a little bit. Proteus played a little
Mhm.
bit of that. So games like that.
Okay. Now, are you, like, are you excited or more nervous now with it coming out?
Um, I think most of my nerves, like enough times, kind of passed because
Mhm.
once I got it approved by Valve, because you have to do all these checks and everything. Once I got it approved to where they basically send you a little message that's like, okay, it is we've done all the checks. The store page is good. The game build is good.
Mhm.
You have all the features that you're supposed to. You can release it whenever you want now.
Right.
That was kind of where I was like, oh man, if this is a disaster, I don't know what I'm
What am I
gonna.
do?
Yeah, and fortunately, enough times kind of passed to where I've got it. It's settled a little bit. I've been trying to improve things like the jibs and everything, and
Mhm.
uh, just improving it, and already have plans for what comes next, rather than okay, I got to release. Here's the wall, and
Mhm.
now just wait. So
Yep. See if it's
yeah,
gonna be a hit or not. I'll
yeah,
decide if I make some later.
yeah. Which we'll see how the nerves hold up once we get closer to the 14th. But
Right.
still,
So, since you are releasing on Steam, I have a question. We just found out how much the Steam machine's gonna cost.
oh my.
Are you going to get one?
Absolutely not.
And what do you think about the pricing of it?
uh, so I feel like the pricing of it,
Hmm.
it granted, I don't know hardware super well.
Right.
I I feel like I understand Valve well enough that I was expecting it to be about, maybe about like that. I don't know.
Hmm.
I was waiting to see, maybe they'll surprise me and have it be a bit lower than what I expect it would be.
Right.
But from looking at the index and everything, the index really, really good, really expensive.
Yeah.
So Valve kind of goes more on it in terms of like high end.
Hmm.
Um, I know a lot of people. I think this is probably what's tripping a lot of people up is how everyone started calling it the Gabe Cube,
Yeah.
and how it's like, oh, it's going to be the Steam console.
Yeah.
So they're naturally expecting it to be in console price range.
Hmm.
I was expecting it more to be basically like a mini PC,
Yeah.
which is kind of what it's turned out to
What's
be.
yeah.
So the price doesn't surprise me because I think I had different expectations from other people.
Yeah, they've said that a lot of the price went into having problem finding RAMs or the chips and stuff
I
like that,
believe that.
which is like $1,400 or whatever. But the thing, I guess originally it's going to be like 750 or something like that. But I don't know if that's
hmm
with the controller or without the controller. Which is another thing
Yeah,
that bugs me. It's like, why are you charging for the controller? I feel like it should come with it. But I get it. I mean,
that's a good point. I didn't really think about that.
yeah, it's like another $100 to get the controller by itself. It's like, I guess.
Yeah,
But I
like
mean,
everyone already has a gamepad, but
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of standard to come with a controller.
And the other thing that was kind of, I mean, I don't know much about hardware. I can tell you what such and such a thing is. I even build my own
Hmm.
laptop or build my own PC. I just go and go, I'm just gonna choose this laptop because it was cool.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
everybody was Ryzen, which everybody said Ryzen and Radeon are decent, pretty good. Like, all right, cool.
hmm
But like, I feel like if it's not as powerful as the base PS5, then there's a slight
It's not.
ish. Yeah, it's not as powerful
Ooh.
as the base PS5. So I'm like,
Okay.
like maybe
Yeah.
it struggles to run three. It struggles, I guess, from what they were saying, to run 60 FPS. It's running barely, 30 FPS. For some games, it doesn't even run 30 FPS. They console comparison of God of War Ragnarok. Have you played God of War Ragnarok?
Not Ragnarok, no.
Okay, but like the opening scene of video games, usually depending on what, if it's a cutscene or if it's actually gameplay or not.
Mm-hmm.
Some, so the PS5 Pro, the FPS for it, runs 110 to 112, and that's at 2160p for an opening scene with VRR on. PlayStation 5 was running 75 to 78 frames per second.
Okay.
The Steam Machine at 2160p FSR quality medium settings is running 60 to 63, you know,
Mm.
um, FPS. And then the Steam
Yeah.
Machine at 1440 with optimized settings is only running 70 to 73 frames
Mm.
per second. Yeah, and it's,
Oh,
yeah, I got the price right here. So 512 gigabytes, for the Steam Machine is 1049, which 512 gigabytes nowadays isn't much.
no, not at
Like
all.
like my PS4 and PS5, or my PS4 for sure, I have like 2 terabytes and that's full already.
Yeah,
How
the
big games are.
512 for storage, that's usually what people make their boot drives and then just stick some extra stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Yep.
use that for main storage.
No. Yeah, so it's 512 gigabytes, 1049. With the controller, it shoots it up to $1,128. So you're paying about $80 just for a controller, give or take.
Hmm.
For 2 terabytes of data, or for 2 terabytes of size, looking at $1,300, um, with a or 1349. Sorry, um, with a controller for it, you're looking at $1,428.
Hmm.
So you're kind of expensive,
Yeah, that's
and
man.
barely.
I would say that they should have waited, but then again, by the time that RAM and storage prices are come down, it's already going to be outdated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's apparently gonna be it's kind of I mean it's gonna be playable on your TV, which is kind of, I guess, kind of cool. I
Mm.
mean, you can still do that nowadays with your own
No,
PC, but I guess at that point you really need a big long cable. For some people do, because they only
yeah,
have one spot, but um yeah, like they said, is a PC in a small form factor, but with gaming in mind. Um Apparently, it's not very hard to set up. It's just power supply and HDMI cable.
hmm
So, I mean, it's not bad. Wi-Fi, network. So, excuse me. Uh, the weird thing is, for anybody who plays on Steam, there's games that you can't play on some certain PCs for some odd reason. There's games that you can't play on the Steam Deck for some odd reason. I don't know why. I guess they're too old. But
Linux compatibility is weird.
yeah. Um, you'll be able to access your entire Steam library on the Steam machine, which figure that. Um, some games you won't be able to play well, some you won't be able to launch at all,
Nice.
which is craziness. So, um, yeah, so like Crimson Desert, for instance, runs so much better on PS5 than it does on Steam machine. Let's see. There's different. If a game can't see, yeah, they'll show you if a game can't play on Steam Deck. You'll see a circle with diagonal line through it. Um, you can't play Destiny 2 on it, which I know that's going to upset a lot of people. Um,
Yeah, I wonder if that might be because of the anti cheat, because
yep,
because
that's
it does run on Linux. So
Yeah, that's one of the main things. Yeah, anything that has anti-cheat will not work with Steam OS. Um, you can sort of launch like Epic Games Store and all that stuff on it, but
Mhm.
not as easily. So you have to like download your third-party Windows apps, like
Right.
some people do for Steam already. Um, you can actually like Xbox Game Pass. You can cloud stream games through Linux, but cloud streaming's still not hit there.
Yeah, it's still gonna have to deal with a lot of in. Well, I don't know how much input lag there might be. I've only ever known one person who's done cloud gaming before. He
Yeah.
didn't seem to mind it, but then you've got people like with me. I can
Hmm.
feel input lag as soon as I play a game with VSync on.
Hmm.
I know VSync is on whether it tells me or not, just from the feel of it.
Right.
I've got friends who don't notice it at all.
I mean,
So,
it was I mean, the Steam or the Switch, all those cloud games were terrible for that. You know, the way
oh
they
really?
felt. Yeah, they not great. Um, but I guess we'll find out. I mean, eventually we'll probably get the PS5 or the PS6 and the Xbox, so that'll
Mm,
be next. But we'll see. Uh, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Hey, you can use streaming apps on it, not like you can on consoles. So you can't like turn it on and go, blah blah blah. But you have to
mhm.
go into like desktop mode and basically do it like you would on a PC instead
Yeah.
of going through everything. So, I mean, it's gonna have stuff. You don't have to pay online, so that's I guess nice.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, it says that memory components problems, shortage on the consumer end, the price of RAM has skyrocketed. Um, they're I mean, it all depends on what you're looking for. I mean, I think the Steam Deck, you're gonna get basically the same thing as a Steam, machine at this point. It's gonna be a play. It's just
yeah.
one connects to your TV, one doesn't. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. They're in a weird spot with that one for sure. It's
Hmm.
a tough sale.
Yeah, being Valve, I thought, for sure, oh, it'll be a really powerful PC. I was thinking,
Hmm.
like the old Alien. Remember when Alien was actually Alienware before
Yeah.
Dell
When
bought, like,
Alienware was actually really good before
yeah,
Dell got it.
yeah, like that powerful. They were always like the top of
Mm,
the, you know,
yeah.
feeder line. Then now it's not so much, but that's what I was kind of figuring. But I guess
Hmm.
not. So, um, now if people want to follow you, where can they find you at now?
Well, I stream every morning except for Sundays
Mhm.
over on Twitch, which is Parochial Joe here. Um, Pretty much mainly where I am. You can find if you're really interested in some long-winded patch notes for a game that is not technically out yet, you can find me on YouTube at Armadillo Entertainment,
There you go.
and then you can find my game on Steam, Maledictor.
Hmm. Yep, and he also does. You still have your YouTube Let's Plays up, don't you?
Yes.
From back in the day. Yep.
Mhm.
So if you want to, some old school, you know, Let's Plays that he's done, I mean, it'll be watch all those if you want to.
Mm-hmm. I got
But
some game reviews up there too that
yep,
from a brief time when I was doing those.
yeah, yep. At that point, he was called Review Joe.
I don't know about that one, but
But yeah, I want to thank you. I mean, obviously, like we were saying earlier, Gears is big for both of us, and it's 20-year
mm,
anniversary. Love it. Doom, Quake, all those games that we played growing up. I think we had one of the greater time periods
oh
of
yeah,
gaming over the years. So, but
absolutely.
I do want to thank you for being on, and definitely have to have you on again when your game comes out. We'll talk, get a kind of a
Yeah, absolutely.
review and kind of go deep into it, and maybe get some gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you all for watching this episode, and like he said, definitely go out and wish list his game or buy his game when it comes out on Steam. And if you have any questions, I mean, he'll probably answer you. You have Twitter or
Technically, not really very active on it. You can always find my Discord through the Twitch, though.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, if you find it, if you want to play it, and you're like, what? I want to learn a little bit more. He can probably give you a little couple answers or pointers or whatever. Be like, hey, this is what I did for this. To figure this out.
Mhm.
But yep. Thank you all for watching this episode, and I will see you in the next one.
See you guys.